Big Bear AI stock is making some big moves today, and I'm going to cover it here as my wife eats a burrito behind us. But don't worry, we're going to do some videos with her on exactly what it means to trade as a beginner. And she probably has some things to say. Oh, she's shifting movements. She wants to be more visible maybe, or less visible. I'm not sure, but I love her no matter what. Anyway, let's take a look here. Oh, look at that. We were making a song. If you guys know some of the good intro music, I use this AI called Suno after I upload my own stuff, and it's pretty exciting. Anyway, I like that stuff. So let's take a look at BigBear.AI. We're going to head over to our AI and LLM watch list. BigBear.AI is up 7% today. And look at that. We actually called this move yesterday. Isn't that exciting? So yesterday we made a video on BigBear.AI. It was right here at the support around $2.38. We said, hey, what if tomorrow it literally, this is the exact drawing, I haven't touched it, shoots up to $2.50 as a result of bouncing on this support that it has its overall trend on, and maybe we see that recovery. So BigBear.AI recovers this morning. We see it shoot up to $2.50, so about a 7% swing today, and BigBear.AI maybe starts to recover. It pushed up above the 200-day moving average here in the near term, as well as the MACD and RSI still not really indicating overbought. It's still in the middle, so maybe more room to run here as we start to see it make this recovery. So a really beautiful thing about SPY recently is the bounce on the 200-day moving average. Is it full bullish on the market? We got a lot of things to go through. We got to hold US dollar strong. The economy's got to continue to have some reports that look good. We got to see good job reports. We got to see good reports around the inflation, which was looking okay in the last Fed meeting, but still we're looking at these tariffs. They're hitting it. You know, definitely the companies that rely on China for their manufacturing, they're seeing the hits right now. Now locals maybe starting to see some of their prices more justified, which could be good and also bad in the near term. But I'm looking at it now. It's not looking like a terrible day for the market as you see green. Now, BigBear.AI is a company that has some really good things happening for it. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but we've been covering it and it looks really good. Like, we see good financials. We see them being used in the airports. But one of the things is they haven't really had any good news articles as of recently. Now, there's tons of articles. If I go BBAI stock, and I just search it on Google, I mean, I don't know about today, but yeah, 13 hours ago, this is May 1st, could make or break. There's law firms, there's all of this lawyers saying, come join us as we sue BigBear.AI because they had some misreporting in, hey, beautiful. They had some misreporting in their recent earnings, and we could make you money if you're an investor that recently lost money in BigBear.AI or what have you. So there is all of that news. There's no shortage of bearish articles on Big Bear. And again, we don't look at the articles very much. There's a bear right there. But there's accounting controversy there. And then there's also, you could see here, they're saying the CEO, Kevin McAleenan, projected full year 2025 revenue could reach 180 million, citing a growing contract pipeline and maturing AI product suite. Now, if you guys know, I wish I could just pull it up, but essentially, BigBear.AI is at the airport. I've been getting my face scanned while I'm a traveling entrepreneur going to different cities. We went to a lot of different airports recently. And I'm excited to say that I do see Big Bear firsthand. They got investments from BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street. We know this. But when it comes to the recent moves, what we're seeing is a validation of this level. We're seeing a validation of this level. And now we're starting to say, okay, what if we see this recovery up here? At least this is what I'm looking at as a holder and investor in BigBear.AI. What if we see a recovery up here? It's about an 18% swing. Maybe we get to play that short term and invest in it there. Now, I've been wrong about BigBear.AI reaching those levels as it was downtrending here. You know, we were saying, hey, look at this recovery. It was after we played this bounce back here in March, and we played it up to about $3.20. It was selling down, and it was right around here that I remember saying Big Bear AI is right at this support, which is notoriously bounced, and we could see it push up to 320. I was wrong. I mean, it continued to sell down from there to there, about a 7% dip continued before recovering. So what we're seeing here is now kind of the same deal, right? We start to see a validation, a push up, but maybe we see a sell off, a revalidation down here before we get this swing of 18%. Or we start to see a V-shaped pattern in SPY. Maybe we start to see a real-time recovery in Big Bear AI. But again, from their contract standpoint, they're projecting 100, what was it, 160 million, 180 million dollars in the next year. And if you take a look at BBAI stock and we're looking at the financials, the revenue is showing signs of pretty good revenue quarter over quarter. You see it's up 8% year over year. They did put some money net income into paying some debt down, and you can see net income was down. However, I would imagine that if they're 43 million in quarter four, and they got quarter one coming up here May 1st, they're going to be reporting. We got to watch those revenue numbers closely. But if we start to see some of those contracts, like the $160 million Army contract, or the Denver International Airport insertion, or the Heathrow Airport insertion of their AI tech that processes all the profiles and people that come in and out of the airport or what have you, if that AI software that they're getting out to those different transportation agencies starts to still have traction, and maybe they're one of the companies that's being used in optimizing some of the border. As you've seen, guys, there's been a crackdown on less people coming in through the borders. But we got the World Cup coming up, which is going to be even more interesting because there's going to be a lot of people from other countries coming into the U.S. for the World Cup here, 2026. And I'm imagining that's going to be a really big entry point for a lot of immigrants. But nevertheless, that's really cool. Really nice to see that they are one of the main companies that's in the conversation as the tech provided to essentially assist in having millions and millions of people come in and out of the US and being able to essentially have the data to have a bird's eye view of exactly what's happening at those entry points. So that's really exciting. And I also think that I'm handing a phone to Tammy. Tammy, are we going to go to the World Cup? It's in the US, North America. That's
Should we invite my whole family?
we should invite your whole family. Tammy's from Argentina. So one of the really cool things we got to do recently was fly to Argentina, and she's got her green card. So she knows immigration very well. She knows very much about how the process works. And and we went to Argentina. I got to meet her family and play some soccer, play some football. And now we're starting to see the World Cup come to the US. Last year we saw Argentina, or last World Cup we saw Argentina win, and that was really exciting, especially because one of my friends that we were living with at the time was he's a friend I've had for my whole life, and he's born in France, and he was a fan of France, and they were playing against each other. It was actually quite intense. But anyway,
We won.
we won. Yeah, Argentina won. Sorry, Ben, my friend and Stefan. They're twins. Um, so revenues increasing, net income's looking good. They have a lot of things coming up that would indicate they're not going to see a cut in spending because they're in defense. I'm liking it. They're down to $2.50 just in the last year. At one point, we really saw them surge. And I don't think this is artificial. I don't think this is short lived. I think this is actually telling into a new pricing of their market cap, and really seeing them start to get momentum as a company when they surged to $10.50. So we started covering them back here in November, or before that, around $1 a share. I think it was under $1 a share. I'm not sure. And then they surged 550% up to $10.50. We made a lot of money in that move. A lot of investors were able to. Some investors got in too late and saw some of the sell off and were not too happy during this time and some of them are still holding it. Some are looking at it and saying, "Man, we wish I could see that $5 to $7 range again." As there was this potential bounce here where some people were saying, "All right, this is where we see a recovery," and then of course tariffs hit and everything else hit, and the market started to continue to sell off. But when it comes to this move, I was able to really make a huge portion of our 2024 gains during that time, and then also as Stockmate, we cover these every single day at Market Open. If you guys ever want to see our targets for these stocks, as well as get access to some resources to give you the basically rundown every single morning, we go live at Market Open. If you ever want to be there, it's that second link in the description to surround yourself with like-minded individuals and see us catch some of these moves. So as we see, now it's starting to bounce here. It's looking like, hey, if it bounces here, we start to see this push up continue. It's a really good moment to be looking at Big Bear. And that's why we're going to be keeping a close eye on it. So we'll see if any special movements happen in the near term, as it is right here on a good day, a nice green day, and we start to see this validation of the support. It's been dynamic, it's been volatile, which means that there's oftentimes above average return or risk opportunities. So it's important to be careful, but at the same time, pay attention, because the highest returns are usually in the times just after the biggest market dips. Right now, we're in an unprecedented time where the time to profit or risk and losses can be much shorter than most investors would ever imagine. And it's right now that we have to pay attention. When the tariffs happen, we have to pay attention. When we see moves like this with Big Bear and potential recoveries, we have to pay attention. And if there's one thing that I'm going to leave you guys with today, it's whether you decide it's a bullish or bearish play, if you invest in it, the most profitable thing you can do, which will lead to the best results over time in any market, in any investments, that will make sure that you're consistently growing your portfolio, is to simply have a trading profit plan. Look at it, have a plan of the exact entries and exits of where you plan to get in, whether it's long term or short term. So thank you guys so much for watching. Appreciate you all. Again, if you want to join us in our live session tomorrow, it's the second link below. If I earned your thumbs up, hit the like button. Do consider subscribing, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care.